Choices. Occasionally, sim racing throws a curveball. Unexpected, unwanted, but unavoidable. Season 3 of iRacing has caused such a choice for me. Eagerly awaiting the updates and the new season to start, I scrolled to the GT3 series list to blow the dust off my beloved Mustang, only to find I'd been demoted due to my lack of racing. Thanks, LMU. Coming back to iRacing, I felt like a pure rookie again, and juggled the idea of entering the new M2 Rookie Series. But something about the Porsche Cup spoke to me, like someone had lit the beacons to pass me the message. I had no idea what I was letting myself in for, but if you check out my latest iRacing video, I had a new mentality, and I was going to stick. Would it be the right choice? Only a race at Virginia International Raceway would answer that for me. Qualifying filled me with optimism and perhaps overconfidence, as I managed to get a P2 on the grid. But the fear of 20 cars behind me, all foot down towards turn 1, was enough to tie knots in my stomach. The lights go green, the revs drop, and we get a decent look. But heading down the front straight to turn 1, the red mist takes over. I brake way too late, I miss my marker, we go absolutely deep into the corner, and just like that, 2 positions evaporate. We dropped to P4 before we even blinked. But hey, the car didn't hit anything, we were still alive. Now, so the recovery mission starts immediately on lap 1. I'm trying to settle the rear tyres down, because in this car, you overheat the rears early, you're driving on grease for the next 3 laps. Total chaos unfolds in front of us. Cars are bouncing off each other, and I have a split second to make a decision. Do I ram into the back of them, or do I take the scenic? Absolute emergency evasive manoeuvres required. I yank the wheel to the right and steer the Porsche directly onto the grass. Now, if you've ever driven on the grass at VIR in iRacing, you know it has the exact same coefficient of friction as wet ice. No grip, no traction, just pure vibes and prayers as the wheel oscillates in your hand. By the time we spin the tyres and drag ourselves back onto the tarmac, the entire field has sailed past. Welcome to the back of the grid. We have a true fight in our hands. Can we actually recover? Spoiler alert, yes, we can. Because if there is one golden rule in the Porsche Cup lower split, it's this. You don't actually need to overtake people. You just need to exist on the track while they delete themselves. 2 cars ahead of us decide they want to get intimately acquainted. They squeeze each other, refuse to lift, and send both of themselves sideways into the field. Another 2 positions gained, and the ridiculous part, we hadn't even finished the first lap yet. The grid is decimating itself. Now we're approaching one of the most famous corners on the track, Oak Tree. The slow, technical right-hander that rewards patience. Come to this lobby is severely lacking, and right on cue, Oak Tree claims yet another victory. The car gets impatient on the throttle, spins the rears, and parks in the grass. Honestly, looking at this, maybe my previous skill issue wasn't that bad compared to the absolute comedy show. But we couldn't get complacent. We still have to keep it on the island ourselves. As we head down the straight, there's a literal snake of cars heading towards the roller coaster. They're running on ice-cold tyres, driving defensive lines, and looking completely terrifying. You can smell the potential carnage in the air. Everyone is tensed up. We're navigating the crest of the hill, trying to place the car perfectly, and then boom. Out of nowhere, a massive jump scare. It's the exact car we had a tiny bit of contact with earlier. He's completely lost it, and his car slides horizontally right across the track, directly in front of the nose. I had to slam on the anchors and narrowly missed his door panel by literally a millimetre. I didn't have time to blink. I swear, if that guy watches the replay, he's going to think I have a personal vendetta, and I'm actively aiming for it. But we survive. We cross the line, start lap 2, and the race finally begins to settle down into some sort of rhythm. The initial opening lap madness is over. The field is slightly spaced out, and the real chess match begins. The objective now? Lock eyes on the pack ahead and hunt them down. At this stage of a rescue mission, you can't afford to get frustrated. No mental games, no screaming at the steering wheel, just pure, unadulterated. But the thought process is entirely keep it on the black stuff, hit the apexes, and smooth. Up ahead, someone pushes a bit too hard, gets a wheel on the dirt, and goes for a loop. Another spinner puts us officially up into the top 10. Suddenly, the math starts working in our favour. With the raw pace we found in clean air, I'm looking at the relative screen thinking, maybe top 5 or even a sneaky podium is actually looking back on the cards. But catching the car ahead is a rapid race. We're staring down his rear bumper. He looks nervous, he's missing lines, and the psychological warfare has begun. I'm setting him up for a run down the straight, closing in on his gearbox. But then, disaster. He brakes aggressively, early for a corner, completely catching me off guard. To avoid destroying his rear bumper, I have to smash the brakes, disrupt the weight transfer, and we lose all of our momentum. The car behind capitalises instantly and strips us of the position. Total brain fade on life. But I lift my gaze and look what's visible through the trees. A massive snake of at least 8 cars, all battling bumper to bumper. It is a rolling powder keg. If they start tangling, it's going to lift me straight to a podium fight. I just need to stay calm, forget the mistake, and stick to the game plan. Someone ahead goes deep into the next corner, runs wide, and we narrowly scratch that position right back. We're up to P8 as we head back down towards the final straight. I tell myself, start learning from your previous mistake. But guess what? It goes completely wrong again. I overslow the car, lose the rhythm, and suddenly some absolute brain of Britain behind us decides a fantastic idea to make 3 wide going through Oak Tree. 3 wide at Oak Tree in a Porsche Cup. Absolute bad. When people start forcing 3 wide situations here, you don't fight them. You back off, grab some popcorn, and wait for the fireworks. That aggressive car's rear bumper became my entire focus. I just kept telling myself, his over-aggressive driving style is going to be his own execution. And right on cue, boom, there it is. They completely trip over each other, touch wheels, and take each other out in a cloud of tyre smoke. Beautiful. Absolutely poetry in motion. With them out the way, the next few laps were all about putting my head down. No distractions, just getting the lap times in. Hitting every shift point perfectly and reeling in the pack ahead. Another car has spun off under the pressure. The timing tower update, and suddenly we're fought our way all the way up into P6, and we are knocking on the door of a top 5. The battle for P4 right ahead of us was absolutely heating up. I was just praying they were so focused on each other that they weren't checking their mirrors to see me breathing down the neck. This was it. Every single ounce of concentration had bought a front row ticket to a fierce 3-car war for a podium spot. I'm doing everything I can to keep it clean, just lurking in the shadows. P5 gets a massive snap of oversteer, struggles for traction, and opens the door. I slide right past into P5. A few laps ahead, and we're now glued to the back of P4. We don't want to force a stupid move. We want to play it smart. If we can bypass him, P3's right there, and we are well and truly in the silk bears. Pressure is immense. P4 goes heavily defensive into Oak Tree. P3 has a massive slide coming out the corner. I'm just waiting for the inevitable mistake. And there it is. P4 falls wide, the lane opens up, and P4 is out. Now guys, I would love to tell you that the race went smoothly from here. That we hunted down P3 and secured an epic podium. However, my inevitable trademark skill issue kicked in. I got greedy on the throttle, the rear tyres completely detached from reality, and I executed a massive, terrifying tank slapper that almost spun me directly into the pit lane. I don't know how I saved it, but by the time we pointed the car straight again, we had dropped right back down to P6. Absolute heartbreak. Self-inflicted harm. But if this race has taught us anything, it's that Virginia International Raceway, the drama isn't over until the checkered flag falls. Anything is possible here, and you just have to keep your head in the game, no matter how badly you want to race. We're on the final lap, and we think all hope for a top 5 finish is lost. But then, the racing gods strike again. The car in P5 takes too much curb, spins onto the grass, but we sneak through. P5 secure. Some of our dignity officially restored. But wait, P4 is only a short distance away. I can see his spoiler. Can we grab one extra spot before the line? We're coming down towards Oak Tree for the final time. The pressure gets to him. He completely misses the apex. I get a massive exit, and we're right on his bumper. He decides to stick strictly to the racing line, and I am going to absolute send it into South Bend. This is a high-risk corner. Something tells me this is going to end in absolute tears. But somehow, I amaze myself. The car hooks up, the overtake is perfectly clean, and we secure the position. Just the final 2 corners to go, we managed to hold it together and cross the finish line. Man, what a psychological roller coaster. We started P2, dropped to the absolute back of the grid on lap 1, fought through grass, spins, 3 wide insanity, threw away a podium, and still fought back to finish right where we belong, in P4. What a fight, what a comeback. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video the word choices. Was this the right choice for me? And is it the right choice for you? Sometimes people think that the GT3 races are the holy grail of sim racing, and we miss out on series like this entirely. Now, in my warped, sadistic mind, I actually find the carnage quite fun. But at the same time, I love learning on the process. So yes, this was the correct choice for me, and I cannot wait for this series to continue. If you want to join along, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.